و تصویر من همه درسته؟ اوکی. حالا یه چیز دیگه هم گذاشتم که اگر خراب پوره شد دوباره بتونم از چون برای خودم الان وبکم خرش دارم. خب hello everyone. Good afternoon. Today the main topic is going to be learner autonomy teaching, and we're going to discuss some activities. This morning I want to start this session by this story that I was encountered this morning. That I was listening to a couple of English teachers from the Ministry of Education and how they were teaching in Shad and also in Skyroom. I was observing a couple of teachers. I don't know why we are still sticking to the old paradigm of teaching, and we want to spoon feed our students, and we want to keep them fed by the teacher. The video that the students received was like this. منی اینه الاتاب اینه اسم قابل شمارش اینه اسم غیر قابل بدون هیچ. There was no pause for the students even to breathe, to think, to reflect on the information. Then you start as a person, not even I could see many of them sleep. They were I don't think they were taking a nap, they were sleeping. So now it's time to start thinking, how far and how long am I going to spoon feed my students? Don't I think that time, that era has come to its end? To a complete end, not to some extent. On one hand. On the other hand, Washback Effect, you know what Washback Effect is. Washback Effect is what Concours is doing with us. We are not educating our children. We are not teaching them. We are preparing them for the exam. Well, okay, no problem. Even if we are preparing them for that examination, is that the way they really need? There are a lot of unknown words in the closed test that they have to answer. So again, even Washback Effect, and if we think about its positive points and positive sides, then even these classes are not even based on the positive sides of Washback Effect. It's time to start to think. I know, poor teachers, we teachers are, I think, everybody is appreciating what doctors, what nurses are doing, but nobody even thinks about us. Poor us, keeping seated on these chairs, if you have a chair. There are many teachers around Iran, in every corner of this country. They don't have a chair, there's no desk, they're seated maybe on, I don't know, on the floor, whatever. And with all these problems, they're running and delivering these online sessions. But how? Now that you are like making that effort, do your best. And the last thing, several years, many years, so many years, you had been hearing from experts, from scholars, that go to your classes with a lesson plan. A lesson plan is a very important part of the classroom. Don't say that I've got experience of 25 years teaching this book. What are you saying? What is she saying? We all need to have lesson plans. When we are shooting the questions, any question which comes to mind, this is what happens. So although we are trying hard, nobody appreciates it. And people start criticizing what we are doing. Because we're doing the job. We know how to do the job, but we don't do the way we have to do it. What's the job happens? Okay. So let's get started. So learner autonomy is what we want to discuss. First, we have to think about how we can develop learner autonomy in face-to-face classes, and then we can take it to our distant learning and thinking about, I don't know, using Shad or using WhatsApp even, or whatever the platform is. Okay. So the first thing is that we are going to have ideas about learner autonomy. We have to think about what happens in our classrooms. And then after that, we'll definitely move on to our online session. So let's dive in. What is the new paradigm of teaching? Any ideas? What is that we are saying? What is the difference? Can you help me? Mm-hmm. Distant learning and teaching, lead and bars. Where is this teacher on the stage? Yes, but where is he now among the public? So we say the time that the teacher is the sage on the stage has come to its end. So the teacher is not sage on the stage anymore. The teacher is a member of community of learners. Hopefully, the teacher is going to be a member of community of learners. So we are saying goodbye to be sage on the stage, to be a guide by the side. So we're not going to be there feeding them. We're going to be here, feed with them. Not feeding them, but feed with them, eat with them. So, and what methodology or approach lends itself to this new paradigm of teaching? What methodology or approach to teaching lends itself to this new paradigm of teaching? Any ideas? Nothing? Flipped teaching. Flipped teaching As you might have heard a lot about, you might have read a lot about flipped teaching. You know, I can remember that maybe a couple of years ago, it was one of my dreams that one day in Iran, we will talk about flipped teaching and teachers wouldn't say, this is taken from the books. Now, happily, everything is happening. You send yours on Shad, and what's happening there? They watch, or they listen to you, or they read what you have sent them. Of course, any video, any audio file, any PDF file, which is uploaded on Shad application, not only on Shad, but on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on any asynchronous platform, must come with guidelines. That's learner autonomy. The person who is autonomous can do everything on their own, but with the help of guidelines. If I don't know how to do it, then, okay, for example, when I buy a new phone, what happens? There are different possibilities. Trial and error. I try all the buttons in order to turn on the device. And finally, after a long time, I'll be successful to turn it on. Done. Affarin Leila, you could do it. Very well done. Oh, it took a long time. There's another possibility. I go to my brother and I ask him. He's very bad akhlaq. And it takes a long time for me to learn from him and for him to teach me. There's another possibility. There's the instruction manual inside the box. I'll get it and I start finding the main features. I skim it and then I scan the most important information for myself and I will do it on my phone. Done. If I'm a very visual learner, I'll do that. If I'm an auditory one, well, I prefer to find videos, tutorials on YouTube, and I will use them in order to work on this device. So I'm an autonomous learner when I'm working on my device, on myself. But the first one is like the one that takes a long time and I have to do trial and error and I may damage the device. But the third one, the third option, was the one I had the guidelines from the experts and I get their support, their online chats, and everything, so I can do it autonomously. The same for all of us. Our learners have 3 different ways ahead of them. The first one is, well, they do everything on their own. Homeschooling. Their parents know nothing and they try their best, The only thing they could do is talk with our police to motivate them, to buy them gifts in order to motivate them, to take them out to motivate them. But they are not experts. They don't know how to guide them to find the best sources and resources. Where can I find the best pronunciation? The most correct one? They don't know, but I know. So that's flipped teaching. In flipped teaching, the teacher plays the role of that guideline, sends the guideline along with the material. You say they don't study? This way do they study? Take a very, very close look at the results of concours. In 2012, when the books were about to change, the secret statistics of the Ministry of Higher Education said that more than 92% of students scored negative in concours. That's the outcome of what we are doing, what we have been doing. 2012, well, they were very happy that new books are coming, new approaches will change everything. But you all know what we did. We teachers. I'm not here to say, oh, Prospect and Vision are the best textbooks in the world. No. But many of you, I bet, are working outside the schools. Why are you successful there? You're teaching the interchange, four corners. They are not the best course books in the world, are they? No. They are not the most modern ones. They lack many things, but you are doing well. Who does that? You, me. Why don't we do the same at school? There we have autonomous learners. They can do reading, they can do listening, but here at school, we want to translate everything. Translation is not the solution. Well, so what is autonomy? Is it like cutting all those strings? No. The strings are there, but the student decides where and when they need the teacher and which string they have to tie. Again, they decide. That's learner autonomy. And there is the element of motivation as well. So flipped classrooms have their own rules and regulations. Hopefully, maybe next month, we can have the opportunity to talk about flipped teaching and flipped reading. But now, we have to talk about that. Okay, feeling the, is the chat box closed? Have you blocked it or no? So for the please, one person type so I can see if people can type there. Okay, so can you take some time reading the statements and filling the gaps? I want you to fill in the gaps. It's the ability to take up on one's own learning. Read aloud. Self-direction in learning must remain a possibility to and not upon learners. Take control, yes. Take control and responsibility. Well, in self-direction, yeah, take charge of. Yes, what about the second one? Are you Googling? Do it, it's fine. I'm sure some of you are Googling, but it's fine. We're happy with that. Rob? Self-direction? Nargis? What happened? So for the first one, I would go for responsibility. It's the ability to take responsibility, to take responsibility of one's own learning. Self-direction is must remain a possibility. A possibility. Would you like to do it? What is the verb? It's a possibility. You can accept it or you can reject it. You don't have to accept it. اگه گفتیم Nargis, where did you go? Google it. For example, when you bring tea for me, you say, please help yourself. Do I have to take? No, it's an offered to, yes, remain a possibility, offered to, and not forced. Yes, you got it. این چه اسمیه؟ آها، این به هم ریخته تو فارسی. Yes, forced. So thank you. we did it. Okay, so this one is the possibility offered to. It was before coronavirus, of course. And here, not forced. Well, oh my God. Forced. Okay. So it has to remain a possibility, and it must not be forced upon the students. Yeah. Thank you. So your name is Nasri. Okay. Then there are different types of learner autonomy. One of them is based on the classroom. So classroom-based approach is what they are doing and the types of activities and tasks we may take to the classroom. The next one is curriculum-based. A curriculum-based approach is what it doesn't exist in Iran because we all have the central curriculum. That's been centralized, and we have to follow that curriculum, and which is followed by the syllabus we have been given. Resource-based approach. It's the time when you ask your students to listen to a podcast, but they are free to choose the podcast from anywhere they want to. Or maybe the teacher is free to do anything. Well, they tell you this is the syllabus, and you can do it, like you can cover this syllabus from anywhere you want to. Several years ago, I used to work for another institution. I can't name it. Well, there we had the syllabus, but there was no coursework. Though syllable, that's which coursework you have to choose. For 4 years, we had the syllabus, well, it was forced, but based on the students, we chose the resource that we wanted to use. The next one is technology, and I know you all have to use. There's no autonomy for you, and you cannot use the platform you want to. Many of you want to have maybe synchronous sessions, but you might not have access to. Well, you have to pay for them. They are expensive. I know. Is everyone teaching in Shad, or you are using Skyroom or Adobe Connect? Can you help me with that? Giving me some information. Many of you I know are teaching in Shad. Is there anyone who is doing many applications? Okay, then Fatima Jan, apart from Shad, are you allowed to give them link of other applications? No. For example, no, I'm not talking about Adobe Connect or these things. I'm not talking about WhatsApp. Listen to me carefully. I'm talking about an application to learn vocabulary, an application to learn grammar. Are you allowed to use these applications or not? To give them a link so they can use them? Yes, no. No, yes. No. این شماره بهنام رو بدین به من. Okay. Why not? What you download? Worksheets. You download from YouTube. I used and it's possible. بهنام مثلا اگه شما لینک ابزارهای گوگل رو بدین چی کارتون میکنن؟ حراست نداریم یا حساب اینو برسن و وضعیتش کنیم. Yeah, you can use different applications, of course. اخراج شد دیدی ازال خداحافظی کنیم. So you have the autonomy. I know you don't have the that independence to choose the main application for your classroom, the main platform, but you are allowed to use other applications. الان میاد منو میکشه بچه ها. He's typing. And the last one is the one that we want to focus is learner-based approach. Learner-based approach. Okay. If you can't hear me, then how you can hear me? So learner-based approach is like thinking about the differences between the students and giving them autonomy to decide for their own learning strategy or policy or whatever methodology. Okay, so even if it is short only, when we say learner-based approach, it means they know the strategies and they pick the one which suits them better. Okay, so can you match these things for me? These are the different types of autonomy we have. Can you match them? What is the first one? Let's have a look again. Classroom, curriculum, resource, technology, learner, and teacher. So, can you match? بچه ها بهنام الان قهر کرد. تو خدا please don't go. خب. What is the first one? بدوین. Teacher-based. Teacher-based. Focus on teacher roles and teacher education. Thank you. Yes, it's teacher-based. Zahra Jan, thank you. Number 2. Number 2. Number 2 is Number 3 is where's our curriculum? Yes, number 2 is resource. Thank you. And number 3 is what? Number 3 is curriculum and number 4 is technology. Yes, now you do number 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Control over classroom decisions. Number 6 is learner, thank you. And number 5 is, very good, classroom based. So the students decide what's happening inside the classroom. Good, thank you. Very good, thank you. So autonomy must come with 2 other elements in our classes, especially for our online classes. Can you guess what 2 other elements are? It's not like goodbye. Autonomy comes with 2 other elements, and they are like complementary things together. They complete the whole process of autonomous learning. Any ideas? One of them starts in Yes, autonomy has got choice, participation inside. Yes. What other elements can complete autonomy? Ideas? Information, very good. What else? Self-confidence. You did well. Very well done. Yes, motivation is the key element here. Thank you. Yes. It's motivation. One of you mentioned information. So we use the umbrella term of metacognition. So they know what they are doing. It's not like Baba Ibar, they're just following the crowd. And they just, okay, the teacher said to do this and I do this. So they need metacognition and also motivation. We must be very happy that you all working with teenagers, because working with young learners, then there's no metacognition, even there's no metacognition. So you have to wait until their cognitive level is to the great extent that you can use. However, after 12, normally metacognition is good and it can help you. From 7th graders, when they start prospect, you've got learners with metacognition. And what is metacognition? Well, the rabbit knows that it's fast and it shouldn't compare itself to a turtle. Hey rabbit, if you want to be successful, you have to compare yourself with other rabbits. That's metacognition. And the turtle knows that, well, I am slow, but I go deep inside every single task, Teacher John. So the turtle knows that there's no race between the turtle and the rabbit. Turtle has got races with turtles and rabbit with rabbits. That's metacognition. And one motivation comes from the teacher, comes from the family members, from society. Okay. We don't have that level of motivation. Hey, other gaps. Let's go. A dynamic system consisting of 2 or more elements that are with each other and which also in time. Haki go. Behnam, کجا رفتی؟ Related. Bahar Janam, it has to be grammatically correct. So if you want to use compare, then you would need to say compared. Blended, you mean, Zahra Jan? I can see his name here. Okay, connected, Marzieh Janam. You need to watch the grammar point as well. It's IELTS examination. Interweaven. Oh my God. Okay. Combined. Very good. Well done. Well done. Thank you. And next one. Related, blended, compared, connected, whatever. Combined, okay, with each other, and which also in time. Also, this is the active verb you can use. Use in time, which also use in time. Bodo! Nothing more? Let's see. Oh my God, we don't have the answer. Nobody could help me? Okay. For the first one, I had that are linked with each other, but your words only were like also were like appropriate ones. You use the synonyms. A dynamic system consists. Nargis, where did you go? A dynamic system consisting of two or more elements that are linked, that are connected with each other, and which also change in time. Hey, thank you. Next one. ببینیم, what is the next one? Oh, this one. Developing your students' motivation to learn involved to as a general disposition involved stimulating its situation in the process of implementing lessons and the first one هر کی زبل بوده تو اسلاید قبلی تقلب کرده. دیدی شاگرداتون چه از زبلتر از ما؟ شاگردا زبلتر. We are getting old, poor thing. Ideas. نرگس کوشی به داد ما برس. No ideas? A quick cheat. So what is the first one? Could you find it? This is here. It's here. Very good. Hey, finally, socializing. Very good. And activities? Good teachers, good cheaters. Learning activities. So what we are going to say, and what we're trying to say is this: motivation is a dynamic system. It's not like at the end of the semester you're trying to motivate them and you think that's enough for the whole course. So it's an ongoing process, yes? And there are different elements. And the main element is to know who is a rabbit and who is a turtle. If you know their differences, then you will be happy with your students. I'm sure you will be happier and more satisfied. Yes? And another thing is that while in an online platform, people have to learn to socialize with each other. So don't go to your classes, either Shad or other platforms, saying, it's not called cheating, it's called socializing. How many of you Googled the sentences? How many of you tried to Google? What's wrong with it? Is there anything wrong? No. The most important thing is learning and learning and learning. Learning process for both of us. Okay, What is metacognition? As I told you, it's becoming conscientious of your own thought. So you focus on particular cognitive or learning situation. You know that you're fast, so you can do things fast. You can do more things. You know that you're slow, so you can do things slowly but more carefully. Yes, that's very important. What's that? Knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. Ideas. In fact, they are learning by searching and cheating, just like us. Don't call it cheating, call it socializing. They are learning by socializing. But I want to tell you a memory. The other day, my daughter was very busy. And then she got busier and busier. I was like, what's she doing? So she came to me asking some questions. And I found the questions easier than the normal questions she gets. Because she studied math, so normally the questions of math and physics are more difficult. You know what she was doing? Yes. She's got a friend who is studying art. She had sent the questions to my daughter, and she was trying to answer the questions. And I was very happy. I was very happy. Why? Because she was reviewing her knowledge. And that was very good, no problem. So, is there anything wrong if I answer the questions? I told her, no, just explain to her so she can learn everything. Yeah, so she learned, both of them learned, she reviewed and she learned new things. Why not? That's called socializing. Yes? So if we want to review what we had, metacognition is conscientious. Yes, you know your strategy, you know your type of learning, you know your mode of learning and everything. Yes, person, task, and strategy. Very good, cheaters. Yes, person knowledge, task knowledge, and strategy knowledge. Very good. آفرین. ببینم کی اسمش اماد. Very well done. Thank you. And Reza too. Yes, Reza too. Reza was the first one. Yes, he's right. So it's having knowledge of the type of person Rabbit is. Rabbit, do you know what type of person you are? Yes. The type of person I am, the strategy I need, and the type of task the teacher sends me. خنده دار نباشه براتون ها. اینا چه تسکایی که این داره میگه؟ اولا تسکایی که دارم میگم به این خوبی همین خودم دارم تو دلش ریفلکشن انجام میدم. یعنی از اینجوری باید درس داد. حالا آخرش همون ریدینگ میگم که جملات رو بکشید بیرون، جملات اصلی رو، و از این بلاها بر سرش بیارید. That is like I'm introducing a type of online activity to you. But let's move on. خب آماده؟ We go. Next one. Construction manager, orchestra conductor. Yes. Rabbit. This is your own orchestra, and you are the constructor, the conductor of it. This is your own building of knowledge. You have to construct it yourself. And the source of motivation comes from the teacher when you show the way. You're looking for strategies. Strategies are coming to you. Are they possible to have? You have to think about your students. Strong versus weak. Yes? Well, the idea of good language learner. Who is a good language learner? Do we have a good language learner? Bad language learner? It was a metaphor. Like it was the mindset of many teachers. But although I might not be a very strong writer, author, like as strong as Michelle Obama is, I can be a good writer. I can write my IS essays very well. Why not? So the idea of a good math learner, in a sense, like it's a combination of talent, motivation, efforts they make, and other things. There are many other psychologists. The role of the teacher. When we were in our on-site classes, our role was like maybe highlighted and bold because we were in like close contact with our students. However, even at that time, many language teachers go to school and, well, you can see them only once a day and they said goodbye. I'm very happy now. Although you might have only one session with your students during this like the week, you've got an application which connects you to them and them to you. Isn't that fantastic? Before COVID-19 started, before the pandemic conditions started, what was it like? It was like you went to the classroom, you taught, oh, we have lack of time. Can I have some makeup sessions? No, I'm sorry. No. You gave them the questions and the answers they had to say. But now there is the application. They can send you messages. They can ask you questions. Yes, why not? Learner autonomy is for outside the classroom, not for inside. من که میرم جلسه آنلاین باید همه رو بلند بخونم، همه رو توضیح بدم، همه رو ترجمه کنم. No. Again, it's a myth. It's a wrong mindset. Although they are different, to some extent, all of them can do these activities. How many of you could fill in the gaps at the beginning? How many of you could fill in the gaps by the end, the last ones? You found the way out. You found the way out. Oh, the sentence is there. What is it? Okay. You were even faster than I was. And that made me really happy as a teacher. They got the point. That's great. So the activities of online classes are inside what we are doing together. Although I can't hear you, and I'm really eager to, I can read all of you happily. Well, some of you don't want to type. We've got lurkers. There are 4 different types of learners in online classes. If we have time, we will talk about it, but if we don't have time, then we'll talk about them maybe in another session about flip teaching. خودمو دعوت کردم بچه‌ها. So in the real world, we have a lot of barriers. I know. What is she saying? Course books, textbook, this in especially prospect, vision, interchange, whatever the book is. Book is a barrier. Do you agree? You must agree. Do you agree? Yes, no. Students. Somebody is typing. No. آقای جعفری, خانم جعفری says no. Book is not a barrier. Time is another constraint. دیگه time or you agree. Hey, Reza always agrees with me. He is a great learner. Understanding how to learn. This is a barrier. Many people don't know why they are there. Yes, so many people don't know why they are learning, why they go to school. They don't know the reason. Resources. Too many materials, too many websites, too many books, supplementary books, main books. Although we have too much choice, that becomes the barrier, like the constraint. Yeah. Bah, bah. So all the results agree with me. But so today I'm going to be assassinated. And the last one, motivation. Many teenagers these days are not really in a very good mood of learning. They're tired of online learning. Isn't that it? Then, and who is the source of motivation? We are the source of motivation. If we have many problems, but we are teachers. We are teachers. That's the responsibility. That's metacognition, when you choose to be a teacher. Yes. Choices. You want to add choices to it? I said resources, because like there's too much choice. Yoo-hoo! Finally, we want to discuss the teams. Cool. Tip number 1. What is tip number 1? Ideas. Searching. I'm just bringing something for you. Okay. Paste it here. Finding the best way. Too much choice is wrong. No, so my choice is both countable and uncountable. Too many choices and too much choice, both are fine. You can find them in IELTS resources. Okay, tip number 1. There is this IELTS essay which says, do you agree that today in this century people have too much choice and it makes making decision more difficult to them? So choice is both countable and uncountable. Finding the best way needs an analysis. That's it, Fatima. Yes. So find out as much as you can about your students, and as soon as possible. It's the end of the year, and what is happening? I still don't know the name. Who is Reza? Who is, I don't know, Mahdi? Who is Ali? Who is Zahra? That's a big problem, isn't it? That's a big problem. Yes. So tip number 1 is we have to know as much as we can about our students, and also as soon as possible. Tip number 2. What is tip number 2? Tip number 2. Creativity. Good. Not worry. Come on, it's about learning. Let's see what it is. Ready? Yoo-hoo! Plant ideas. Give them choice so they can decide maybe what to read or maybe how to read, how to listen, giving them different strategies and ideas so they go and search more and more. That's, very much aligned with flipped learning and teaching. That was plant ideas. Then let's go to the next one. Look, what do I mean by plant ideas? Bacha, I'm going to give this handout to Aghaye Ambari so he can share with you in the group. Well, for example, for listening, if one of the students says, well, teacher, my listening is very weak, my vocabulary is very weak. Teacher, instead of giving them a list of vocabulary items, you give them a list of websites or maybe applications where they can find the right material, spending time, like appropriate time on them in order to improve and develop their language skills. So that is planting ideas for reading, for listening. You tell them, well, you can go to this website, you can listen to these audio files, you can do this, you can do that. So instead of giving them a list of words, a list of conjunction. بچه این همه فعلایی که تو کتابای آموزش پرورش اومده رو من میدم بهتون بفهمونید دیگه، اصلا شما به کتابا نیاز ندارید. But that's not the right way. Each person, in fact, a learner, can learn the words they found, not we have found for themselves, for them. If the word is found by the teacher, well done, the teacher, you have learned. But if the vocabulary item is found by the student, they would definitely learn more. So the thing is that we have to give them ideas of where to find the information, so they won't waste their time on finding the right website or the right application. Instead of giving them a list of conjunctions, give them like the address, a link to a website where they can find the conjunction, the adverbial clauses, and so on and so forth. For the concours, they all need these things, but not something which has been created by the teacher. Tip number 3. What time is it? Tip number 3. What do you think it is? Set time. Give them deadlines. Very similar to don't waste your time. Giving them the time. Give them time. Thank you. Yes, exactly, Fatima. Give them time. Very good. Yes, we need to give them time. Saying, well, Rabbit, you have 2 days to do this and that. They may need extensions. Well, that's better than not having the time. Tip number 4. What is tip number 4? What is tip number 4? Tip number 4, engage metacognition. And how is it possible? By giving them guidelines. If I give them the guidelines in English, do they understand? No. In my classes, no. I give them in Farsi. The guideline of becoming a good language learner is the part of metacognition. So I can give them into in Farsi. Like, that's fine, no problem. So engage metacognition. And well, metacognition, as we reviewed, is person knowledge, task knowledge. This task knowledge. Begin. به معلمان میگیم ریدینگ رو فلیپ کنید، میگن نمیشه، خودشون میرن ترجمه میکنن، بعد خودشون تو کلاس ترجمه میکنن، خود معلم تو کلاس ترجمه میکنه. بعد این بچه باید بره کنکور، اصلا من نمیگم امتحان آیلتس، میگم بره کنکور یه متن انقدی رو بخونه، در 1 دقیقه تست دارم بزنه، جوابش هم بفرد. کی با ترجمه چنین کاری میتونه؟ چقدر میتونه؟ مگه این شیمی و فیزیک و ریاضی و همه درس دیگه نداره؟ این تاسک نالجه، این آگاهی از این تاسک نداره. Well, you know what? The teacher told me don't translate, but she or he is translating himself. به من میگه رفتی خونه ترجمه نکنم، خودش ترجمه میکنه. That is task knowledge. Oh my God, life is difficult. What is this? بچه‌ها, you need to give them a reading questionnaire. فقط اول we have to first change our own strategy in teaching reading. If teaching reading is communicative and skill-based, and then it can be used to teach vocabulary for intensive reading, then you can give them this reading questionnaire. اینجا بهشون میگین، ازش سوال پرسین، چقدر میشه که دنبال کلمه ها بگردید؟ چند وقت یه بار دیکشنری باز میکنید؟ شده بدون دیکشنری متن بخونید. This way you are giving them awareness that you are raising the level of metacognition. They've got that. Well, reading has to be done like this. First you read for comprehension. Hala you need to translate, go and sit down, translate. You want to read it aloud, go sit down at home and read it aloud several times, as many times as you want to. I will send this reading questionnaire to him too, so you can use them if you want to. These are just man khodam. I am planting ideas, in fact. Planting ideas. These are the types of questionnaires or maybe ideas you can give your students in order for them to use them for learning strategies, task knowledge. That's just the idea, nothing else. Banki Shoma, you have developed this habit. Reza Jan, you go to a doctor, okay? The doctor gives you, prescribes you some tablets. Then you tell the doctor, I don't want tablets. Give me an injection. I want to be better as soon as possible. A professional doctor would say, you don't want this? Go. A professional doctor would say, well, Reza, if you take an injection, the effect you will see is really immediate, very fast, but there are a lot of side effects. Would you accept it, Reza? No. You would say, well, so that's a learner. When they ask you, teacher, translate, then you say, hey, Azizam, in Konkur you won't be able to manage, your time to do the translation. So go ahead. Let's do it like this. یه چیز دیگه هم تازه بهتون میگم. Especially in our online classes, we need to use simplified passages. Why? دوباره همین. We want autonomous learners. We are not there to translate for them. There's Google Translate. There are a lot of other translators. There's dictionary. We are not a translator, we're teachers. Well, they have all translated for them. Go and read them. I'm not here to translate for you. Use simplified passages, maybe 1 paragraph ones, so they can read the way you are asking them, Rezaja. Like pre-reading, while reading, skimming, scanning. So they learn. They learn the strategies. What is important to you, Reza, that your students learn? 2 things. Vocabulary items, 3 things. Vocabulary items, grammar, and strategies. These 3 important. Who says you have to translate what? Where is it written that you have to translate? Plus, don't waste your time. Why are, like, once you say in English, another time in Farsi, another, so why? No, nobody, I'm sure nobody has told you to has asked you even to translate these things. We are doing all these things by ourselves. No. Even the book says comprehension questions. It doesn't say translation questions. And you know why, Fatima Jan? From 7th graders, this is what is happening. You start translating, not you, I mean we. Oh. We start translating, and they go up with this bad habit. They go up the ladder, but with the bad habit, and they go up to the ladder, they fall off. They fall off because they can't even. Translation method is not even appropriate for concours if you are all thinking of concours. If it was the right one, now we have, okay, all the students 90%, 95%. Translation is very difficult. It's really hard. And you have to keep speaking and let them speak. Let them they have to translate, not you. Even if it is translation, why are you translating? Bacha, the responsibility is on the shoulder of those who are teaching prospect, not those who are teaching vision, they get the students from those who are teaching prospect. اونجا عادت میدی این بیچاره ها میفتن تو بچه. از همون اول میگی خب رابط تصویر داره میگی رابط خرگوش. Why? But they can see it. They are right, in fact. We are all right. But this is like interconnected, interlinked. We have to decide to change. چرا معلمای ریاضی موفقن؟ داره ریاضیای بچه‌ها میره لول‌های اونقدر بالا، زبان‌ها همچنان اینجاست. و تازه یه اتفاق میفته. بعد از اینکه زبان میدن میان پیش ماها دیگه. خودمون دوباره. خب teacher, can you teach me this and that? Oh my God. I have already taught you past perfect, present perfect. But what was the approach? خب. Yes. یعنی نمیتونه الان اینو بفهمه this is a rabbit. اون cognition is ضعیفه. Tip number 5. You don't have to do everything yourself. امیدوارم یه روزی بشه در مورد flipped teaching صحبت بکنیم. فکر کنم your name is Muhammad Jawad or something, Sayyid Jawad. When you see the disciplines, and the principles of flipped teaching, then you see that you don't have to do everything. The main things are on your shoulder. The rest, they have to take the responsibility. Even in your on-site classes, you won't have enough time to do all these things. No, you won't have time. And you are not there to do it. Cool. Encourage goal setting. That's another thing. A person comes to your vision, one class, they don't even know the alphabet. And you continue teaching the way you want to. What happens? Nothing. They don't learn anything. So they have to have SMART goals, specific for each learner. Now that you have alphabet problems, let's work on these. Now that you have spelling problems, let's work on that. Now you don't know present simple, let's work on it. While your friends are working on present perfect, he has to work on present simple because he doesn't know present simple. And without present simple, present perfect is impossible. You all know better than I do. Tip number 6. What is tip number 6? Don't forget about all these things. You have to have a lesson plan. Without a lesson plan, we go to class, we can't manage the tasks we want to do. Okay. Tip number 7. Tip number 7 is for all of us in our online classes. What is it? Would you like some? Sharing. Promote sharing. من که میدونم تقلب کرد. Don't say that. اصلا جلوشو بگیرید. از همین الان بگید زهرا and Reza work together, answer the questions. Let them work together. But the thing is that next session when you come to class, I would ask both of you. Because یکی گفت you don't have time. Previously you didn't have time, but now you have time because you are sending them the material. You have time. They might not have time. Sharing is caring, definitely. Tip number 8. This is my favorite one. Better, these colors, like it has to be red in fact. Red, yellow, and green. What do they remind you of? Red, yellow, and green. They remind you of what? Main colors, variety. What about traffic lights? And what is it? In fact, yes, Java, it's like considering the differences between the activities. So this is to say what? This is to say that students have to decide if for this task I need the teacher, I can do it myself, I can do it with my friends. It's like this. No, not learning styles. It's how much I know and how far I can be like independent. It's like this. Type number 1, I can do it myself. So when I am in my on-site classroom, okay, I give them these cups or maybe bracelets, the colors like green, yellow, and red. When they think that they can do it themselves, it's green. It means, teacher, thank you, I don't need you, I can do it myself. When it's red, it means I can do it with others, or I don't need you immediately. Okay? When it's red, it means, teacher, come, please you help me as soon as possible. So that's for your on-site classes. What about for your online classes? You can code the instructions by using emojis. Or, better, I'm giving you a link to an online board, the board that I introduced you the previous session. Well, it's a little bit different, it's Linoit. So what you can do here is to send stickies. Stickies are of different colors. For example, you send them the material as unshot, and you want to check their understanding. You give them a link like this. You ask them to do it like this. If you have a question which is urgent, send me a red sticky. Right? Type your question on a red sticky. If it's something that you can do it with your friends, do it yellow so other friends can come and answer your question. If you understood you've got no question but you have question for others, make it a green sticky. It's great for all your classwork. You're working on shot, that's a nice application. Behnam Jan, this is the one you can use. There is no VPN on it. There is no cultural clash and cultural conflict. Nothing. It's just a word. It's very interesting. So they can type even their answers. They can send you photos. They can share files with you. And the good thing about this word is this: they don't need to have an account. Okay? بسته دیگه. Any tip from you? Anon, I have a request for all of you. Can I? I want you to click on this link and type things like this. I liked, I didn't like, I would use this. So I've got 3 questions. Feel free to answer any of them. I liked, I didn't like, I would like to use this. So please click on the link before you say goodbye and type something there. You don't have to type your names, but if you want to, type your name. Let me see if I can share the board with you, so then we can all see our application. I think I can share it. Well, yes, I can do it. Go and have the joy of typing on this board. Don't go, please. First type and then go home. I mean, log out. ببین همه نشینیدن بهنام جان. خب بچه من اگه شوخی دیدم زیاد کنم خودم خیلی آقای قنبری روی صفحه فرستادن. های ننه میگه type something what like this. خب let's get back to the room. ببینید چند بار آوردن. Thank you بچه ها. Thank you very much. حتما این کار رو لطفا انجام بدید. برگردوندم. وقتی میره روی اسکرین ممکنه که یه ذره شما رو اذیت کنه. مرسی. Thank you. خب بچه خیلی متشکرم. ببخشید من تازه میگم بچه. خیلی متشکرم از همتون اساتید محترم که تشریف آوردید. ببخشید اگر شوخی کردم. مخصوصا بهنام. واقعا من خیلی بعضی وقتا شوخی می‌کنم ولی فقط به خاطر اینکه حال و هواتون عوض بشه. سرور بنده هستید. همین شما خودتون اساتید هستید. خیلی ازتون ممنونم. خدا قوت و خسته نباشید با کلاس‌های آنلاینتون. ان شاءالله که روز پرباری داشته باشید بقیه روز رو و به خدای بزرگ می‌سپارم. خوشحال میشم که این هفته ما هر شب لایو داریم. دوست داشتید به ما بپیوندید. در جشنواره یه عالمه لایو Untitled _4_Iran. We would be very happy to see you there.